I burned $60,000 on a clothing brand that actually never sold. I have not sold one single piece in a wholesale market, not even a t-shirt. I think it was because I took a couple of bad decisions in the very beginning that quietly destroyed everything for me. If you ever dream of starting a brand, this story might save you thousands of dollars and will take only 15 minutes of your time. So grab a coffee, grab a chair, let's sit down and let's chat about it. Before we go any further, please let me know in the comments below if you've ever started really big without even being ready. I'd like to hear that I'm not the only one. Back in 2010, I started sewing just random little pieces. I wasn't too successful. I wasn't really getting good because I wasn't having time to practice it. So therefore, I packed my sewing machine, I put it aside. In 2013, I decided that I want to give it a go and that is going to be something that I want to grow. I started buying my sewing machine, I built a stash of fabric, and I started building my skill set. I was practicing whenever I could, and I got very serious about it. Fast forward in 2017, I was creating all sorts of garments, and I decided that I want to put a collection together. And I started creating samples, and I was modifying, and I was improving, and I was creating all sorts of things and learning type of sleeves and so on. And so I created a lot of sketches. I thought I designed things that people would love to wear. So I wasn't really trying to copy any trends. I wasn't really necessarily ever into trends, but I wanted to create something different. And I absolutely love black. I like to create in black. I think black really well. And so I wanted to create something that felt really me. I had a vision and I also had a drive. And on top of that, I had some savings, which was a dangerous combination, because I thought that passion was enough to carry me forward. Actually, it is not. So I skipped an entire process, an entire step, the market research. I've never asked myself, who's this collection for? Who would actually buy this? Who's my audience? What problem am I solving? Never thought of it, never came across my mind. So I naturally just assumed that if I love it, everyone else will. So that one belief, it's probably where I lost the entire game, even before I started. Have you ever fallen in love with an idea before knowing that would sell? Let me know in the comments below. I don't think I'm the only one, but hey, never know. So at this point, of course, I felt really overwhelmed. I had so much happening. I didn't know where to look for help. And I started looking for companies and for people that would be able to give me that consultants that I needed to put me on the right path. So into my search, I came across a company that is located in New York City, and I decided to approach. I set up an appointment. I went with my samples I had at the time. I met the lady, and she suggested that my collection is really fresh, that it's something really unique and different, and that she would love to work with me. Made a couple of recommendations, something along the line, I don't have enough bottoms, I should create more bottoms because it would be more appealing for the boutiques to give me space as a new designer. With $8,000 contract that I signed, so the promise was some connections, weekly or bi-weekly calls, some strategy, and a fast track into boutiques. What did I get? I actually got a list with 100 stores. Sounds good so far, right? Of course it does. Until I started calling them. I was so excited, but I only called them when I got my lookbook. So I will get back to this. So what I realized really quick in the process of me trying to sell my line towards the end, I realized that I actually didn't really invest in an expertise. I paid for hope. I was hoping that she's going to fill the gaps for me, or at least help me see the gaps. It actually didn't happen. That was a very expensive mistake. I don't think she realized how new and novice I was. I think she was treating me somehow like she would treat someone that it's a little bit further, more advanced into the fashion business, because her advice would not meet my needs. It was a very brutal lesson. And I would say it's something that really kind of set me up for disaster. So in my attempt to find a manufacturer, I had to go and join my consultant company into Magic Fashion Show in Las Vegas at the convention center. I got really motivated. I had all my designs put together. And by then I already spent thousands of dollars on my consulting company. I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on fabric. So I met someone at Magic Fashion Show. It was a Chinese manufacturer. It seemed to be really good for me at the time. It had very low minimums, had very cheap prices. So I thought I was quite lucky. But here what I didn't have, and I'm not sure why my consultant company didn't let me know I don't have, were the tech packs. A tech pack is basically the blueprint for your clothing line for every single piece. So it's a super detailed document with every single measurement, fabric type, stitch, color, finishes, closures, instructions, everything. You don't have one. You're pretty much just asking a factory to guess what you want, what you were thinking. And that's exactly what I did. I did not have a very detailed instruction for them. I did not have a clear blueprint. So basically I said, here's my idea, and you can see the emails right here. Just make it for me. And they did, just not what I even imagined. And so the first samples arrived, wrong fabric, wrong fit, wrong everything. I tried to fix it. I made more samples, more delays, more money, and by the time it was almost right, it actually didn't matter anymore. The season was over. And I think it started with our communication because it was a complete mess. And my heart just sank every single time I received the samples with UPS. It looked nothing like my designs. So then I had to redo them. I had to remake notes. I sent them all frantic emails with pictures, notes, trying my best to explain what was wrong. More waiting, more money spent on shipping. The second round of samples were barely any better. The third one, we're not even close. For the fourth one, I realized I'm running out of money and time, and I had to compromise. And at that point, also, the manufacturer got really unresponsive. And in the meantime, they decided they're going to change the minimum, so they raised them. At that point, they were also giving me very vague answers, making promises they couldn't keep. By the time I made the final sample set, which was the fourth one, they were, I would say, maybe 70% right. But by then, it was too late. The season had changed. The boutiques I wanted to sell had already done their buying, and the market window was gone. They were moving on to the markets in Europe to find more exotic designers. So that potential rack space on any boutique, it was already gone. So going back to the list I received from my consultant company were disconnected numbers. There were maybe coffee shops. And so that's when it hit me. I did not invest in an expertise. I invested in a dream, in a hope, and I paid for something that turned out to be too expensive for where I was at the time, and I got nothing in return. And so the saving grace came from somebody who wanted to give me a chance. In the meantime, we also decided that I'm going to meet with the boutique in DC, and they would be willing to have a trunk show for me. And based on the feedback from the customers for that weekend, I will be able to secure a spot in the store for that season. By then, I had 2 boutiques, which is not enough for me to be able to have the minimums that I was provided by the manufacturer. After a week or so of going with a back and forth with the manufacturer, I realized that I'm unable to sell to anyone because I do not have the money. I do not have the logistic to get my orders manufactured, shipped back to the boutiques in a timely manner and for a cost that I would be able to cover. That's when I finally sat down with my very patient, lovely husband, added $60,000. And $60,000 were gone from our bank account. I had nothing. I had no brand. I had no sales, not a product that I could confidently sell, and no money in my bank account. All I had was a couple of boxes of mistakes. So that was when my dream officially died. The problem wasn't even one single mistake. It was an actual complete failure to follow the process, skipping all the important steps in a desperate rush to get to the finish line, because guess what? I was just extremely excited. I just want to make it in a fashion industry. I want to carry on my dream. If you're getting any value out of my train wreck of a story and maybe seeing a little bit of yourself in my mistake, please think about subscribing. Your support will mean the world to me. And so there is the truth that no one tells you. I didn't fail because I wasn't talented, because since then I had success. I failed because I tried to skip the process. I wanted the outcome without building a foundation. And in business, that potentially could cost you absolutely everything you have. So what I would have done differently, the fashion world actually has a very pretty clear path for you to follow. It's not fast, but somehow it does work. For your first step, market research and audience. Before you even sketch a single design, do anything you can to protect your investment. As a step 2, make sure you do strategic design and make sure you do tech packs. Step 3, vet your manufacturer. Never rely on a single manufacturer, especially one that it's overseas, without having a backup plan. Don't just go for the cheapest price. Look for a clear communication, reliable minimums. Make sure everything is written in black and white. Step 4, if you can, maybe just do a soft launch or like a test maybe. Before you go all in on a 10,000 order unit, you have to test the market. Do a small production run. This will get you validation with real money, not just like comments or social media, or can be kind of misleading sometimes. Step 5, scale smart. Only after you've been proven that you have success and you know what people want, you found a supply chain that works and a business model that works, then and only then go ahead and scale your business. If you won't remember anything else from this, please remember these lessons cost me $60,000 to learn. Market research isn't optional. Vetted expertise, it's absolutely worth it, but you need to do a good homework before you pick someone. Diversified supply chain is probably your safety net. Tech packs are your blueprint. They are not optional. Also remember, timing, it's everything. The fashion industry runs on a very strict calendar. If you miss your selling window because of production delays, your manufacturer messed up something and you have to redo, your inventory and all the communication and all your even sales will basically be worthless. You cannot skip steps. I hope I made that clear, and I'm going to say it once again. You cannot skip steps if you're trying to build something that would last. If I could start over a production for wholesale, I would do 5 things differently. I would build my audience first, not the product. Validate before you invest. If no one is willing to pay, you have no business. Start small, not 100 pieces, try 10. Never rely on one supplier. That's an actual risk that will make you lose thousands of dollars. Get a blueprint. Tech packs, remember? Clarity saves money, removes doubts. Confusion costs you a lot of money. If this story saved you even one mistake, hit subscribe button. That will help me if you support me. I'm going to share everything I wish I knew. Maybe you can build a brand the right way. Losing $60,000 hurt, but not as much as realizing it could have been avoided 100%. Losing my life savings was absolutely devastating. It was humiliating, painful, and it forced me to face my own arrogance as well. Ambition without a strategy is just a daydream, and a daydream isn't going to pay my bills. So if you think about launching a brand, please learn from my failure. Down in the description, you will find links to the sewing equipment I trust and I use, the best online fabric sources that I used for many, many years. I know you got this. Good luck to you. I'll see you here in my next video.